The Galactic Council chamber fell silent as Ambassador Sarah Chen stepped forward, her small human frame dwarfed by the towering Zephyrian delegates and the crystalline forms of the Vorthan representatives. The circular amphitheater, carved from a single asteroid and suspended in the void between star systems, had witnessed countless diplomatic encounters over the millennia, none quite like this. "Honorable Council," Sarah began, her voice steady despite the weight of 1 billion human lives resting on her words. "Earth formally protests the blockade of our solar system and demands immediate cessation of all hostile activities." A ripple of what could only be described as amusement passed through the assembled delegates. The Zephyrian High Commander, his 6 arms spread wide in a gesture of mock surprise, let out a sound that resembled grinding metal, their equivalent of laughter. "The infant species makes demands," he rumbled, his translator struggling with the contempt in his voice. "How precious." The Vorthon delegate, a being of living crystal that pulsed with internal light, chimed in harmoniously. 300 rotations ago your species discovered fire. Yesterday you achieved faster-than-light travel. What could you possibly threaten us with, young ones? Sarah's jaw tightened imperceptibly, but she maintained her diplomatic composure. Behind her, the holographic display showed Earth's position, a small blue dot surrounded by the massive fleet of the Coalition of Advanced Civilizations. 2,000 ships, each one capable of cracking a planet's crust, held humanity's homeworld hostage. "We have proven our technological capabilities," Sarah continued. "Our rapid advancement should be seen as an asset to the galactic community, not a threat to be contained." The Korath delegate, a massive insectoid creature with compound eyes that glittered like black diamonds, clicked its mandibles dismissively. "Your nuclear weapons are toys. Your crude fusion drives are laughable. You have one barely functional colony ship and call it a fleet." The creature leaned forward. "Accept integration into our labor caste willingly, or we will take your world by force. Those are your options, human." The murmurs of agreement from the other delegates made Sarah's heart race, but she forced herself to remain calm. Humanity had one card left to play, and the timing had to be perfect. "I see," Sarah said, softly. "So the Council's decision is final? No negotiation?" "What is there to negotiate?" the Zephyrian commander asked, all 6 arms now crossed in a display of absolute authority. "You have nothing we want except your planet's location and your species' labor potential. Submit now, and we will allow your culture to exist in the agricultural sectors." Sarah nodded slowly as if accepting defeat. She reached into her diplomatic pouch and withdrew a small device, no bigger than a coin, gleaming with an oily rainbow sheen that seemed to bend light around it. "Then I suppose," she said, her voice now carrying an edge that made several delegates shift uncomfortably, "it's time you learned why humanity survived ice ages, super volcanic eruptions, asteroid impacts, and 200,000 years of predators trying to eat us." She pressed the device. The chamber's massive viewport suddenly filled with light, not the gentle starlight they were accustomed to, but the harsh artificial glow of engines. Thousands of them. The assembled delegates froze as ship after ship materialized from what should have been empty space. They came in waves, each vessel sleek and predatory, bearing design elements that seemed to twist the eye and confuse sensors. The lead ship, a massive dreadnought that dwarfed even the Coalition's largest vessels, hung directly outside the chamber's main viewport, like a metallic moon. "Impossible," whispered the Vorthan delegate, its crystalline form flickering with stress patterns. "Our sensors detected nothing. How?" "Stealth technology," Sarah explained calmly, pocketing the beacon she'd just activated. "We've had 40 years to prepare for this moment. 40 years since we detected your surveillance drones in our outer system. Did you really think a species that survived by hiding from apex predators wouldn't learn to hide from you?" The Zephyrian commander's 6 arms trembled. "Your ship, they're not showing on any of our scanners, even now with them right there." "Oh, these aren't our ships," Sarah said with a smile that didn't reach her eyes. "These are our mining vessels and cargo haulers. Our actual fleet is still out there." She She gestured to the seemingly empty space around the council station. Somewhere. The Korath delegates' compound eyes were scanning frantically. How many? Enough. Sarah's voice carried the weight of humanity's determination. We spent 4 decades reverse engineering your technology from the surveillance equipment you so carelessly left behind. We learned, we adapted, and we built. While you assumed we were playing with sticks and stones, we were preparing for this exact moment. A new voice crackled over the chamber's communication system, deep, gravelly, and unmistakably human. This is Admiral Marcus Webb of the Terran Defense Force. All Coalition vessels, you are surrounded. Stand down immediately or face the consequences. The viewport filled with weapons signatures as the cargo vessels powered up armaments that shouldn't have existed on ships that size. The Zephyrian commander's translator started sparking from the speed of his panicked utterances. This is impossible. Your species has no strategic capability. No industrial base sufficient for— No? Sarah interrupted. We're the species that figured out how to kill mammoths with pointed sticks. We're the ones who looked at the ocean and said, I bet there's something on the other side. We split atoms before we could cure the common cold, and we put people on our moon while half our planet still didn't have electricity. Her smile grew colder. You want to know what humans are really good at? Learning, adapting, and holding grudges. The chamber erupted in chaos as delegates frantically tried to contact their respective fleets, only to discover that their communications were being jammed by sources they couldn't detect. The Coalition's mighty armada, spread across Earth's solar system, found themselves suddenly blind, deaf, and surrounded by phantoms that appeared and disappeared at will. Sarah stepped back, watching the panic spread through the council chamber, like wildfire. Here's what's going to happen. Your fleets will withdraw from our system. You will recognize Earth's sovereignty, and you will never, ever threaten humanity again. And if we refuse? The Korath delegate managed to ask through its terror. Sarah's expression became deadly serious. Then you'll discover why every single predator species on Earth learned to give humans a wide berth. We don't just survive, delegates. We thrive. We adapt. And when cornered, we become the apex predator. The Zephyrian commander slumped in defeat. The withdrawal orders, they're already being transmitted. Sarah nodded curtly. Smart choice. She turned to address the entire council. Humanity is ready to join the galactic community, as equals, not as subjects. We look forward to peaceful cooperation with all species that approach us with respect. As the human ambassador walked out of the chamber, the assembled delegates sat in stunned silence watching the viewports gradually empty as the impossible human fleet vanished back into the void, leaving only the memory of humanity's first lesson to the galaxy. Never underestimate the species that climbed to the top of the food chain on a death world, and then looked to the stars for their next challenge. The council never laughed at human, empty threats again.